Hello, and welcome to the Wellness Persuasion Podcast. My name is John Borman, and I'd like to thank wherever you click play at, and I try to be respectful to the audience time. I know you've got things to do, so again, I'll try and make this podcast short and sweet. Lately, I've been on this path of habits. Over the past 42 times around the earth, I know that good habits lead to winning, and bad habits lead to losing. In order for a person that wants to stop losing, they must replace bad habits with good ones. Now, I think that in this world that we will be in that constant battle of replacing good habits with bad ones. Well, I like to compare good habits with the narrow way. You know, Matthew chapter 7, verse 14, Jesus talks about staying on a narrow path. He said that the narrow path is hard, only a few travel on it. However, at the end of the narrow road leads to life. Well, staying on good habits can be compared to the narrow road. Staying on good habits are done by a few. Staying on good habits is hard. However, down the end of it leads to good things. You know, you go to 1 John chapter 3, John encourages born-again Christians to put the word into practice. That was a little tongue twister right there. John encourages us to put the word into practice. You know, the word of God is not just for memorizing and knowing, even though things are good, yet the word of God goes to extent of meditating on it. You know, the Spirit may lead you to a certain verse so you can have deep thought, and with that, it's not just so you can just store in your mind, but it's also where you put into motion with your whole entire being. You know, I think a good habit is getting up early in the morning to spend time in prayer. If you want to look at what's the common trait for most successful people, then I think it would be that a lot of successful people were early risers. You know, a great example of being an early riser is seen in Mark chapter 1, verse 21. In Mark chapter 1, we kind of get a glimpse on what a daily life was like for Jesus. You know, he would do preaching, he would do teaching, he would heal many people, and he would cast demons out. That was a typical day for Jesus. And if there's anyone that could justify sleeping in, then it definitely would be him. However, that was not the case. In Mark chapter 1, verse 21, it says that Jesus got up early in the morning in the mountain to go pray. He had a habit of getting up early and going to pray. Now, does that mean you have to pray in the mornings or just in the mornings? No, you could pray at any time. That's the beautiful thing about being born again. You know, we're not just restricted on a certain day, a certain time, or a certain person, that by Jesus that we could go to the Father and lift our requests to him wherever we are at. You know, talk about prayer in the last 30 seconds. Prayer, that's a great habit. That's a great habit to build other great habits. And as you'll see, you start doing one good habit. Next thing, another good habit. A while, you start accumulating few good habits, and you start building those, and hopefully they'll replace the bad ones. Now, if you're still in the battle of having bad habits and struggling to get the good ones, don't give up. Just keep moving forward and know that, hey, it's going to be a difficult one, but by God's grace and his power, we can do all things. Well, that comes to the end of the Wellness Persuasion Podcast. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to click play and listen to wherever you're listening to at.